Hey guys, welcome back. So today we got 2024 Hyundai Palisade. Customer complaint with this one is battery light on. So I just took over this job, and they call the battery and an alternator. So I just noticed in our alternator there's some debris in there out of the casing. I don't know if that's oil. So we're gonna check it once I take that out, right? And also on these models you're gonna remove the compressor. So it's either you remove the compressor or just let it hang if you don't have this uses 1234 YF refrigerant. So if you don't have that machine, I guess you can just let it hang and just support it, because the alternator is gonna come down, right? As you can see there, it's a kind of a tight space there. I don't know if it's also possible if you can just remove the cooling fan, but for me, with the Veracruz or the Santa Fe with a V6 engine, I usually take the alternator down, right? So first I'm gonna set up this hoist, the car and the hoist, lift it up. We're gonna remove our belt, right? Remove the serpentine belt, and then we can start removing the compressor. At least this one, the subframe is half subframe. It's not full subframe, so I think we have good space there to remove some stuff. So let me do that, and let's go underneath the vehicle. Okay, so before doing anything, don't forget to remove your negative cable, right? To prevent from like arcing of that positive cable, because you're gonna be removing the positive side of that alternator. Okay, so I just removed our undercovers. So here's our compressor. As you can see there's more space to remove this, because we do have that full subframe compared to those old Santa Fe's, right? We got our serpentine belt and tensioner here. We just have to move that so that we can remove our drive belt, and that should be, yeah. So we're gonna just remove all these harnesses attached to the compressor, and I hope this is just gonna be straightforward and easy. So let me set you guys up where it's gonna be the best place, but let's remove our belt first. Okay, so as you can see there, the tensioner, there's a bolt there. That's the mounting bolt of the tensioner. The other hex pattern there, that's where you're gonna put your 19mm socket. So we're just gonna move this, and as you can see there, our belt moved. So I'm gonna move that guy here. Oops, I'm hitting the oil filter. Am I? Okay, no. Okay, that's good. So that's out. Just leave it like that. You don't have to remove it fully, and then I'm just gonna remove this harness going to the compressor, right? So it's gonna be out of the way, and we're gonna remove our connector for our compressor. I don't know why there's some oil here. As you can see there's some oil there. So is our tensioner leaking, or they did an oil change and they just spilled something here? Like all the alternator has oil on it, and no wonder why it's not charging. So we're gonna inspect it further once I remove the alternator. Maybe the valve cover is leaking, so yeah. But first I have to remove this harness here, then we're gonna remove our compressor. Okay, so I just removed our connector there for a compressor, and going to the one connector going to the oil pan. So I'm gonna remove the lines right now. So it's 12mm. Oh no, I need the angle one. So I'm gonna remove this other one first. And also make sure that when you work do this repair, that your engine is cool or cold, because the compressor is so near on the exhaust manifold. So okay, it's out. I'm gonna do the other one now. Okay, I need so I'm just gonna use a flex ratchet head here, 12 mm, the same thing. I'm removing the other line now, so I just put that aside. Now there's gonna be 4 bolts that's holding this compressor, 2 at the bottom and 2 on top, so I'm just gonna be removing that. Okay, I'm gonna remove this compressor now. Should be easy removal because the car's still brand new, right? There's no rust yet. So our compressor is out, and the bolts on the mounting for our compressor is the same sizes, so you don't have to worry for that. Okay, so this is the best view that I can give you guys. So right now we're gonna be doing our alternator. So I'm just gonna remove our connector here, and then we're gonna remove like a clip harness going to the alternator. So I'm just using a right angle pick here, a long one. I'm just gonna show you once this alternator out what I'm trying to remove there. So that's out. Now if I can, okay, I can reach the bolt or the nut that holds the positive cable going to the alternator. So I'm gonna try to remove that from the bottom. Let's see. Okay. Oops, it's too tight there. I don't know if it's easier to remove it from top. Let me try this one more time here. No. So let me lower the car, since I'm also gonna remove the top mounting bolt on the alternator. So let's do that, and maybe it's easier for me to remove the positive cable nut there for our alternator. Okay, so the nut is in this guy here. So I think it's easier to do it from the top. So do that from the top. Do this. Just squeeze your arm there. Oh, that's tight. That is tight, man. Wow. Oh, wow. Why so tight? It's very tight. Okay, so I loosen the nut now. I'm just gonna remove the nut. So that's why it's very important to let the engine cool down, because as you can see, my arm is near the exhaust there. Okay, so now we're gonna do our top bolt first. Okay, so our top bolt is this guy there, that guy there. So that's 14 mm. So let's grab 14 here. I'm using a deep socket right now. Okay. This side here, in between the AC line. I hope that's enough room. And also we have to remove that belt there. Is it enough? It's too short. Okay, that's good. And the process of removing that bolt is faster. Okay, so that's out. You need to remove that whole thing there, right? Just grab this, don't put it in the hood, because maybe we need it to line it up when we install the new one from the bottom, right? Okay, let's lift this car up again and let's remove the lower bolt. Okay, so we're gonna be doing our lower bolt now. 14 mm, same size. Oh, that's a lot of oil there. Okay, that's out. That's good. Now we just use our we're just gonna use our pry bar now. Pry it slowly. And sometimes you have to push in our, because the other end of that bolt, when it screws in, there's a nut here. Sometimes you have to push it out because when it tightens, that one will compress to the bracket. So I hope we don't have to do that, because I don't see a space here. I just hope that we can just pry this out, this guy here. Okay, I can see our alternator moving. That's good. But if you have an older car, it's best to do that, to push out that nut. Okay. I just need something there. Oops. Okay, so that moves now. Okay. Now the top one is stuck there. So we just have to pry it out nicely and easy. Yes. We don't want to break anything here. But the best thing there is you need to push out that nut. But I'll show you guys after this removal here. I'm just gonna try to wiggle it around. Maybe it will loosen up by doing that. And while pulling the alternator. Okay, it's coming on. Okay, good. Okay. Okay, let's see here. I think we can see it nicely here. Is it leaking from our... Is this oil or our tensioner is leaking? I do not know. But for sure that's a hydraulic tensioner there. But is our valve cover leaking? It's wet, but since our filler neck there for our oil, when we replace oil or you add oil on the engine, it's really near on that side. So I don't know if someone messed it up when when they did the oil change and fill up the engine with oil. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna clean this area here and then reassess again once we put everything back together. Okay, so here's our new alternator. As you can see there, that's clean. Here's our old one. I'm gonna put this aside first. Here's our old one, and as you can see there's some dirt there. So it's either there's an oil leak coming in there, going in there, or during the oil change, as I mentioned earlier, that when putting oil, maybe the oil spill and that goes straight to our alternator. So be careful when you do some oil change, especially the positioning of that filler neck, right? But we're gonna reassess it and see if it's leaking from the valve cover, right? So the way I mentioned earlier, this nut here, right? This is the one that compresses to the bracket. So when you tighten it, this one is going in. So sometimes, especially in the older cars, this one I got lucky because it's still newer, that I was able to wriggle it and just pull down the whole alternator, and it was easy to remove. But some older cars, this one is stuck in there and it grips on the bracket. So sometimes what you need to do is, once you yeah, so this one is installed in the engine. So usually what you need to do to remove that freely was don't remove this whole thing here, the bolt, and just push this bolt so that it's easier to push that out, right? Same thing as with the lower one. And by the time you install a new one, because I see some guys doing, let's say, an engine repair, one they put in this alternator after the rebuild or the replacement, it won't start because it was so tight that the drive bolt won't even spin, right? It's because this guy here, or nut, that's pressing into the bracket, instead of that moves freely going in and out, it sees, and instead of this one is gonna go in to tighten to the bracket. It's the whole casing that's tightening into the bracket, and in turn it's restricting the movement of the rotor inside, so it's squeezing in, and your belt will not move. So make sure that when you tighten, that you can feel or you can see that this end nut here will go in instead of the whole case tightening to the bracket, right? So that's a tip there. Just be careful with that, especially in the older alternators. There's this rust there. There's a chance that it's not moving nicely, right? So we're gonna install the new one now, and yeah. Okay, so we're gonna install our what do you call that? Upper first, right? What you can do is you can put your bolt first at the lower bolt, just thread it in a little bit, because there's a slot there. You can shoot it in first, so it's easier, because the alternator is kind of heavy too. So okay, so it's there, it's positioned. Now we just have to push it in, and then that's why I said earlier that grab the upper bolt, because you need that, right? At least you're gonna start threading it in. Okay, that's in there. Now we're gonna tighten our lower part. Okay. And also sometimes another way to know that it's not the case that's tightening in when you tighten the bolt is you just spin the pulley. If the pulley spins, no problem. So that means that the bolt and the nut is squeezing in together, not the case, right? You can use torque wrench, whatever you need to do, and the torque spec for those 14 bolt for the alternator is 47 foot-pound. Okay, that's it. Now since we're here, we're just gonna do our compressor quickly, right? I'm gonna install that quickly. Now we're gonna go connect all those connectors, and then we're gonna connect our positive cable for the alternator. Okay, so tighten the bolt. Torque spec for those 4 bolts, 12 mm, 24 mm, 24 foot-pound. Okay. And then, oops, the belt came off. Okay, let's see, we're gonna install that later. And then, let's put our connectors.
mean, if you want that works, okay? Just have to change the filter.
Do it. No?
Let me know though.
Okay, I connected our alternator connector there. And then let's do our compressor. And then we'll put the lines first, okay?
Yeah, Marco.
What's up? What?
This is the car.
What the car? You replace already?
Yeah.
Okay, just leave it there then.
Of course. I always try to replace, do the job like that when it comes like it. I don't want to leave it too late.
Okay. So I'm just putting in the one line there. Now one, if you want to be so specific, the line that goes into the compressor, the torque spec is 23 foot-pound. Now I'm just gonna tighten by hand. Yes, I think I trust my hand. And it's too tight there. Okay. Next, other line. Okay, that's that. Don't forget your, I think this is an oil level sensor or oil pressure sensor here. Going to the oil pan. Don't forget about that. Okay, and then now we're gonna lower our car. Let's install the top bolt for our alternator and the positive cable for the alternator. Okay, so we're gonna tighten this bolt first here. One fit. You know what? I'm just gonna tighten by hand. Okay, let's grab our long rod trap. Okay, that's tight enough for me. Now, since you tied those two mounting bolts there, just spin your pulley. It spins freely. It spins freely, so that's good. Now we're gonna install our positive cable. Positive cable. What? Why? that's in there. That's a little bit tight there. Okay. And let's use our ratchet here. I don't know if you guys can still see it. And make sure the cable, because the end of that cable, the eyelet, there's like a tab there. Make sure that goes in nicely to the tab. Okay, that's tight enough for me. Huh? Okay, so our repair is done. We just have to put our drive bolt now. So that's our pattern or drive bolt. Water pump going to the alternator, idler pulley, going to compressor, going to crankshaft, and going to our tensioner. So I'm just gonna position our drive bolt here because we're gonna do it at the bottom. So I think it's easier for me because this one is kind of tight here. So what did I say? Water pump going to the alternator, and then alternator going to the idler pulley. Right? It's gonna be like that. Water pump, and then from water pump that's going to the tensioner. So the other end of that belt from the water pump, loop it to this. Oops. Make sure the belt groove is going into the groove of the pulleys. Okay, so that's in there now. Now we're gonna do it from the bottom. So let's lift this bar up again and install our drive bolt. Okay, so now let's just position this other end of the belt going to our crankshaft pulley. And then we're gonna put our ratchet there. Put our ratchet and socket. Okay. And then before you release that, make sure all the belt is sitting nicely on the groove of the pulleys. And sometimes it's easier because as you can see there's still a an edge on the pulleys, especially the idler pulley, crankshaft, compressor. It's easier when you slide the belt to the idler pulley itself on top because it's just smooth, right? But in this case, we're able to install it in the compressor side. So now that's good there. We install our new alternator. So in this video there's a lot of components that you're gonna learn. Replacing the alternator, just in case you need to replace your compressor, that's easy. Just in case you replace your drive bolt, right? So I'm just gonna lower this vehicle and then recharge the system because we remove our compressor, and then we're gonna check the vehicle if the charging system is working now. Alright guys, so I did my refrigerant recharge. So let's do a start up on this vehicle. Okay, make sure there's no noise on the belt. It's good. So I put our multimeter here right now, and as you can see here, it's charging up 13.6, 13.7, 13.8. Our battery is a used, the original one failed, so I grabbed a used good known. So far we're charging. Earlier I didn't show it to you guys that when I was running, my voltage engine running was at 11 volts, so it was just running on the battery. So yeah, that's good. Right now our alternator is charging, and so far our belt, there's no sign there of misalignment, no noise, so that's good. And yeah, that's how you replace an alternator on a 2024 Palisade. I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you next time. Thank you for watching.